Check this out.
Shoot, she doesn't know.
Woo! When you lose all power, like that, you went from the top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain.
Come here, guys. We're gonna go inside.
Yeah.
We're gonna go inside.
She doesn't know.
Come on, guys. Let's go inside.
There's another one in there. Like, that's the safety door. The other girl's to the right. CaveFam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good Saturday. I know I did. I had a busy Saturday today, y'all. I did a lot of cleaning. I did a lot of planting. I encourage you guys, check out my Instagram. I'm trying to get more active on there to show my cave family what I do outside of YouTube. You know, I do a lot. I keep busy around my house, constant projects. So let me link in the description, y'all. Go check out my Instagram, give me a follow, and say what's up. You're from the Cave Fam. So anyways, y'all, we're back with another reaction. We got a good one. I'm excited for today's video. I think it's really good. I ain't gonna hold you guys up too long. You know my slogan, enough with the chit chat. Let's get into the reaction. All right, here we go. Y'all sit back. Of course, let me know what you're sipping on down below. We got a lime bubbly today. This reminds me of a Bud Light lime. I used to love drinking Bud Light limes when they first came out. They just remind me of the summertime 12 packs on deck. The good old days, right? But we're sipping on a lime bubbly today. We're going to enjoy this reaction. I'll see you guys throughout the video. Love y'all.
And did you know in Toy Story, one of the writers revealed who Woody's original owner was?
It's not Andy?
No, somebody gave him to Andy.
And we know who?
We do now. It's Andy's father, who we've never seen in the movie before.
Well, that explains why he's so worn down compared to the other toys. He's gone through it.
Andy explained Andy's father's entire backstory, how he had polio and he was bedridden for most of his adult life. And in order to not keep it from spreading, because back in the day they didn't really know what that disease could do, they burned all his stuff. But the one thing he kept was Woody, locked away in a chest.
Jeez, no wonder that's Andy's favorite toy. All the sentimental value in that?
Yeah, and so his health improved. He was able to have Andy, but then when the disease returned later on and he became terminally ill, he gave Andy the key to the chest as he was passing, so that Andy would always have a best friend and something to remember his father by.
Wow.
So Woody might be the spirit of Andy's father.
Man, why is that not in the movie?
Yeah, I know, that'd be
And then
It would be a good twist to it, you know what I mean? Make people more close to Woody, but you can make it anything. Like the dad went off to war. I don't know, he's serving the country or something, you know, and then he makes a grand entrance at the end of the movie, I'm home or whatever, left you Andy to keep you. No, he's got to be bedridden, dying on his deathbed, for a Disney movie. But
if you have something called a JED, it looks like a Tesla coil, and it's all over Egypt. Everywhere you look in hieroglyphs, it's everywhere, and they have cables coming out of them, electric cables. They were connected to their electroplating devices, light bulbs. Anything that needed electricity was connected to the JED. The JED would capture the ambient electricity from the obelisk. The obelisk were like electric wire poles in your neighborhood, basically, but just doing it all wirelessly. And by that method, they were able to transmit the wireless energy all around the region, and the JEDs would capture that energy, and they can power whatever they wanted. Now, what's also interesting about the Great Pyramid, a small amount of that water would be pushed up into the pyramid and down into the Queen's Chamber. Now, the Queen's Chamber, when you analyze it and look at the x-rays of it, you discover something interesting. It operates like an electrolysis machine. Why electrolysis? If you use electrolysis with running water, you can extract the hydrogen atoms out of the water, which is what we do in different types of engines that we have right now. The Navy has a ship that never has to come back for gas because it just takes the water from the ocean, extracts the hydrogen atoms, and pushes it into a chamber for engine combustion, and they run on hydrogen. They don't run on gas anymore.
I don't know. Do you believe that there were government agencies involved in the deaths of your father and uncle?
Yeah, I mean, clearly there was government agencies involved, not only in the death of my uncle, but the cover-up. And, I'm an attorney. If just with the evidence, without doing any discovery, with the evidence out there now that is accumulated about my uncle's death, there's over 1 million documents. Many of the people involved have made confessions, including E. Howard Hunt, David Atlee Phillips, David Morales, Charles Harrelson, Woody's father, who was, involved peripherally in it, and many others who were involved have confessed. But also, there's hundreds of thousands of documents that show what happened, and you have a 60-year CIA effort to make sure nobody sees that.
Okay, so
If you've ever wondered how it
Man.
feels to wake up in the Matrix and see the food for what it truly is,
An expedition to the area to find minerals, but what he discovered there was something completely unexpected. Approximately 40 miles upriver from El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid observed unusual sediment stains, and upon investigation found a cavern entrance with steps leading to it, suggesting a man-made structure. Inside, Kincaid found writings on the walls not in English or Native American scripts, but in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. This finding suggested a historical connection far beyond local or known civilizations. The cave system revealed a vast underground city, estimated to house up to 50,000 people,
Damn.
complete with granaries, cooking areas, and artifacts indicating a sophisticated society with knowledge of metalwork and possibly agriculture. Among the findings were granaries with preserved seeds, tools made of copper indicating a lost art of hardening the metal, and various artifacts that pointed to a technologically advanced civilization. The complexity of the cave system with engineered passageways and rooms challenged contemporary understandings of ancient civilizations in North America. Kincaid's findings led to a Smithsonian expedition led by Professor S.A. Jordan, which further explored the cave system, uncovering a central chamber with a statue resembling Buddha, hinting at a cultural amalgamation or influence from distant lands. The artifacts and the layout of the cave suggested a deliberate, sophisticated design, contradicting the notion of an isolated or primitive local civilization. Despite significant discoveries, mainstream researchers and the Smithsonian have labeled the account as a hoax and dismissing the claims of an advanced civilization predating Native Americans in the Grand Canyon, and the possibility of ancient transoceanic contacts that might have influenced pre-Columbian American civilizations. Any and all attempts to further explore or validate Kincaid's findings face governmental restrictions, with areas off limits for exploration. This remarkable discovery aligns with local tribal legends, such as those of the Hopi, suggesting a historical basis for tales of ancient peoples and non-human entities emerging from the Grand Canyon, blending myth with tangible archaeological intrigue.
I mean, the Grand Canyon's a trip. Like, I'm from Arizona. I barely went there for the first time like 3 years ago. And it's a trip to see. It really is. But you can see how they can block things off without you having access to it. Because, I mean, they control the road that goes in, one way out, right? It's nothing but dense forest all around it. So you're one way in, one way out. And, but I know people do runs out there. They call it the rim to rim to rim run, which is a dream of mine. I've never hiked the Grand Canyon. The first one, I'd like to hike down it. People hike down it, camp, hike up in the morning. I think it's like a 13-mile hike. But the round trip, rim to rim to rim, is like, I think, a 40, 50-mile run through the Grand Canyon. Like, that'd be dope. A lot of videos on YouTube. Check it out if you're interested.
Did these soldiers really see demons? Although the development of night vision technology began before World War II, widespread use of it didn't begin until the Vietnam War. You see, the first generation of passive night vision
I forgot to do
devices
something.
were called starlight scopes that used a red spectrum instead of green, effectively allowing American soldiers to see at night. However, when helicopter gunners were given these scopes to wear during evening missions, disaster struck. According to one helicopter pilot's account, the gunner on board was looking into an area that had nothing in it during the mission, but began firing wildly anyway, causing the other helicopters in their flotilla to respond, making them shoot one another. When the pilot asked what he was firing at, he explained that he was seeing flying demons coming right for them. But this wasn't the only incident where something similar happened. Other soldiers using these goggles would report seeing demons in the air and monsters in the jungle, perched on the trees, watching them. One even described it as looking straight into hell. Eventually, soldiers and officers were ordered to stop using these goggles, and these scopes were removed from service. And in the end, many were discharged due to having psychological breaks after using this technology. So, did these goggles allow us to see into another realm? And
remember all the great fires? 1888, 1889, 1890, 1891, 1892, 1893.
I already know about this.
Fairs, which were all resets. Those were all fires too. Just so happened everything caught on fire. A cow kicked over a lantern. And somehow everything caught on fire. Stone and granite caught on fire. Stone and granite caught on fire. I'm gonna say that one more time. So then you start to look at the 1850s to like 1900s and go, well then how much of that is scripted? Seems like a lot of scripting is going on. Well, in 1851 we're gonna have a great fire. 1852 we're gonna have a great fire. 1853 we'll have a flood. 1854 we'll have a hurricane. And you see it? That's the thing. The more I would dive into the past, into these books, the more I saw the exact same thing on repeat. So then it comes down to, if the people don't realize that the same thing is on repeat, then guess what? They keep doing the same exact thing to the people. They destroyed the history 100%. They told you Oregon Trail and the whole, we're riding around on Oregon Trail. Meanwhile, they're getting rid of all the old world buildings, they're getting rid of all these beauties, all these statues, all that, so that they can now tell another story.
And it just went up with compound interest to $20 million. That's crazy. Luka Doncic, he's about to talk about, like, he just came into the league not too long ago. His card's already worth $5 million.
Rookie card, 2 days after his birthday, at 22 years old, sold for $5.2 million.
That's a basketball player, Joe.
I need to get in the card game.
He's a great basketball
Thrift
player.
shops.
I was going to ask. Thank you.
So you're telling me a doctor diagnosed you with gout and you never looked up what causes gout? Because the very first line will say gout is caused by high levels of uric acid in the body. Now me, if I had gout, my next move would say, what foods cause high levels of uric acid in the body? The first page is going to say all meat, including fish, right? So it amazes me how people have these health issues.
It really does.
They'll slide in my DM saying, please, T-Walk, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. What do I got to do to get rid of this? And I'm like, you won't do anything because you wouldn't even Google what caused gout in the first place.
Hey, I'm already know how you be feeling. So like, so for instance, right, I kind of want to tap into that because some people be like, okay, so why can't I eat acidic food? Like, what's actually the science behind that? Like, people don't understand. It's like, they say, oh, we already got stomach acid in our body, so that shouldn't matter. But it's like, exactly, you already have stomach acid in your body. So why would you just add more acid to a body that already contains acid on its own? You know what I'm saying?
You don't need extra acid. You have your mucosa membrane, so you naturally have mucus, of course. That don't mean you need to be eating all these extra mucus-forming foods.
Year. How many months are there in a year? 12. Exactly. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. Good. However, 12 months, well, 12 times 4 is 48. And 52 minus 4 is 48. Doesn't take a genius to work out we've got 4 extra weeks. And what do 4 weeks make? A month. There are actually 13 months in a year.
That's crazy.
We are being paid for 12 months' work, and we are doing 13 months' work a year.
Bruh.
And I look at wealthy people fleeing California, for example, and I think something about this story doesn't add up. It's rather a lot like building up a population with too many males. There's something else that explains this, because at the end of the day, wealthy elites are going to end up with the best real estate. So the fact that they're fleeing either means that which elites are going to end up with that real estate is about to switch. Maybe this was a real estate scam.
Malibu will always be occupied by rich people.
It will, but which rich people?
Yes.
And I wonder, having seen something that very much looks like an undeclared invasion moving through Central America, knowing that the Chinese Communist Party thinks in terms of long-term planning over the movement of people and resources, that our system, we've effectively opened the gates of the city to anybody who's willing to pay to corrupt our political structures. There is a story you could tell in which the CCP has a different understanding of what the future of our country is than most Americans do. And, well, let's just put it this way. Maybe I'm imagining what I saw, but if I'm not, then all of those Chinese migrants who don't want to talk about what they're doing moving into the U.S., they're going to do something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't know when we became so naive about the fact that we have, there are parties abroad who do not wish us well and would not mind at all seeing us removed from our position of power. And
leave the world behind. They all came against us.
Some of us displaced from the continent we live on. I can't say.
Do you ever think about the food we're eating?
Nigga, fuck what y'all talking about. I'm eating one meal a day.
Sense, right? If you're in the fast food business, it makes sense to raise the prices at dinner time and, you know, maybe lower the prices Monday through Thursday at 2 in the afternoon, like a happy hour, right? It kind of makes sense. Thinking as a businessman, right? But I'm starting to get into this food stuff a lot on these videos. I hope you guys are liking it. I'm intermittent fasting now, 20-hour fast. I'm doing a 24-hour as we speak. I quit eating at 2 o'clock, so my parents will be here tomorrow around 1 or 2, and we probably won't cook till like 3. So I'll have a 25-hour fast tomorrow. So I do need to keep making better choices with the food, but we are fasting, y'all, and I'm feeling amazing.
Price, but because it's busy right now, it's that price. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Feed your dog real food. So many people are feeding their dog kibble. Is
even
this
for my
stuff good
puppies.
For it? It's expensive. Is this the best dog food? It says dog food. It says the purest ingredients. But if it could just sit on a shelf, how you wouldn't eat that? Like if you had to eat Pop-Tarts forever, your body's gonna fall apart, right? And a lot of dogs are getting cancer these days.
What do you feed them?
I feed them something called Mave. It's frozen raw food. So it's frozen meat and it has vegetables in it and like blueberries and stuff like that. And man, he gobbles it up and it's changed his body. He lost a ton of weight. It's changed his energy level. He was getting like gray hairs in his face. They went away. It's like he went backwards in time.
I'm gonna play a
Now,
recording.
I don't have the money to get that all natural food, right? But I do. I remember I was hanging out with the girl once, and she told me, because I was just getting my dog like pedigree, you know, things like that, like the cheap big bags of dog food. And I remember she told me get grain free and you know, get it from like it used to be called Pet Club, but they went out of business. So like from a pet store, right? I get it at PetSmart, but I make sure I get grain free and you know, there's other words like no additives and stuff like that I look for. But I did notice that when I switched from like pedigree to the grain free food and the little more expensive, that my dog uses the restroom a lot more, goes pee a lot more, poops, you know, instead of 1 time a day, like 3 or 4 times a day. You know, he seems to be doing good. And one good thing I can tell you guys, I got a wood desk right here. We're gonna knock on that wood desk. My dog has never been sick a day in her life. Not one day in her life has she been sick. Now she's had an upset stomach with like diarrhea or throwing up, but I have never, let me knock on wood one more time, had to take her to the vet. Not once. I don't know if it's the grain-free food. I don't know if I don't give her table scraps. Now, once in a while, I'll give her like a piece of tortilla, but it's not like 5 times a day, right? It's like 2 times a week she'll get 1 scrap. And now my boy, my beagle. So yeah, that's something, you know, you can change feeding your dog from. And they have these grain-free foods at Walmart. They're a little more expensive. I get mine at PetSmart because there's really no pet stores out here where I live. It's just like the big name pet stores, no locally owned pet stores where I live. I ain't gonna drive far for it. But yeah, little fact for your puppies or cats. They got grain food, free cat food too.
That is embarrassing. 4 times. After the 4th time, write down what you hear. Interesting. Almost everyone here heard that is embarrassing. Listen again and watch the screen.
That's crazy.
You heard the same thing every single time. Our eyes and ears take in electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality. We see our reality.
This is what my brother Joe got me.
And we have control over our reality, right? the law of attraction and stuff. But check this clip out, y'all. This was just an ad that I saw on TikTok. You get those dumb ads. This was an ad, but it kind of made me laugh, and it made me be like, I'm his brother. That's some gift I would get for my family members on Christmas. Let me know if you're a Joe down below in the comments. Are you Joe with your family?
For my birthday, he looks me dead in the eye and he says, if the power grid ever goes out, this is what you're gonna need.
It's a dope radio though. I want to get it.
Serious. So he says, you're gonna need solar, and just in case that gets fried, which a lot of people are theorizing, you're gonna need a crank. And he says, but most importantly, you're gonna need this.
Radio.
It's the radio that is gonna save your life. The radio is gonna tell you where you can go get food, when to take shelter,
Nobody has
where
that
you
no
can
more.
take shelter. Without that, everybody's running on Alexa and satellite TVs and internet. This is what's gonna save your life. This is what you need in your house. And I said, so there's no armored Lambo? But I was just kidding, of course. And I'm really grateful that my brother is like literally helping all his friends get this. And I'm grateful for my brother. Love you, bro. If you see this.
Let me know if you're Joe, right? I'm Joe in the family. But that's true. Like I bought a Casio G-Shock watch, right? And when I got it, I started thinking like, say if it does go down the power grid, how long are you going to lose track a day? Your iPhone, your Apple watches, your Galaxy watches, your phones are going to last a day. 3 days tops if you turn it off every once in a while. Because first of all, this ain't even going to work. You're going to be able to maybe see the time, but I got a G-Shock watch, and I was thinking like all these people I'm going to be generous, within 2 months, they're not going to know what day of the week it is, what day of the month it is, what time of the day it is. Eventually we'll start learning the sun, right? But, for the majority of people, they ain't going to know. The majority of people ain't, they're not in tune with the stars and the planets and the sun, right? So they're not even going to know what time it is within a couple months, what day of the week. They ain't going to know when their birthday, like none of that. So I got that watch. That's going to last forever. And they even have solar powered watches that they give to the military that they wear. So little things like that, if it ever does go down, are going to be priceless things. And you don't even need to get a G-Shock, right? They have $20 watches that the battery lasts forever. And they just buy a couple batteries, keep them in your house, and you got a lifetime supply of, being able to tell the time, date, all that. You know what I mean? So check this out.
Shoot, she doesn't know.
Woo! When you lose all power like that, you went from the top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain.
Come here, guys. We're gonna go inside.
Yeah.
We're gonna go inside.
She's a no.
Come on, guys. Let's go inside.
There's another one in there. Like, that's the safety door. The other girl's to the right. She's got a long ways to go. That's probably like a 20-mile run for her right there.
Oh my gosh.
That little 50, 100 foot. Check her out over there.
God help her, God help her, God help her. God help her. God help her. God help her. God protect her.
You know what? This animal
God,
come here.
animals obey the sound of your voice.
I wish you. Please protect her.
God.
It's funny how when it hits the fan, right? Like life and death, your instincts go to praying, right? Even non-believers, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm saying life and death, right? When you're looking, like, that's death right there. That's watching death, staring death at its eyes. For her, personally, really, she's praying big time, I bet. But for the people watching, like, her instinct was to start praying. Who knows if she's a praying woman? She might be, right? She might be at church every Sunday. But I'm saying when it comes to life and death, I believe you just start praying naturally, right? It's in our soul. Look at that though. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? One false move. Kept her cool though, you know, she's real calm. But again, I think your instincts just click in. You don't even have panic, nothing. You just, I think God starts talking to you, telling you what to do. Because I've heard too many stories. She got away. But I've heard too many stories of these like life and death, and like on YouTube, right? You can watch those videos. People telling their, you know, near death experiences, and they just tell you they hear voices and, you know, calms them down and makes them chill as a cucumber, right? That third eye opens up.
Oh my gosh.
She dodged the bullet though.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord.
Look at that. It's crazy. That thing's just, that type of stuff is just right in our neighborhood. right across the street. The stuff they were holding in that warehouse is right here across the street, and it can go at any time. It's crazy.
What have you done today besides nothing? You ain't done shit.
All right, CaveFam, there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I think that was a good one. That little last clip, I put a funny one instead of a motivational clip. I remember I seen him on TikTok once, and he's got a YouTube channel. He just follows his grandpa around with the camera, hearing the crazy things he says, man. And I went down the rabbit hole on the channel's called Pop Watch, right? He calls his grandpa Pop. So check him out, y'all. He's funny as hell. That old man, he's hilarious. So I was another rabbit hole. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you made it this far, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. All my new subscribers, I appreciate you guys. We put about 4 videos up a week consistently, and you know, join the CaveFam. We got a good community growing here. We're gonna be growing slowly but surely. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys have a fun, safe Saturday. I ain't gonna see you guys till Monday. And like I said, down below, link to my Instagrams down below. I want to start getting active on there and start posting what I'm up to daily. I did a long, you know, day to day. You guys got about, I don't know, 15, 16 more hours until it goes away. But if you want to check it out, go hit up my Instagram and tell me a little, send me a little message. You're from the CaveFam. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.